Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the wake up call with myself and Alex. How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments below.
Yeah. All right. Well, I woke up today. I read a comment on Instagram about how I'm an idiot again. So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 because, when things go down, we're dumb. When things go up, we're smart. So,
Yeah, we're God's gift to this earth when things go up, and we're a
man,
disgrace to humanity when things go down. As if we're the ones running the markets.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you kick us off.
Okay. So, I'm looking at the Ethereum chart right now. And a couple things. I forgive the chart gore. I know there's just a lot going on, a lot of noise on this chart. And for those on TikTok, I will not recommend that you go to a different website to watch this, but perhaps there's people who look a lot like us live on a different website. But earlier this week, I was looking at the crypto charts, at the Ethereum chart. I made an Ethereum video, and I called for a spring moment with Wyckoff reaccumulation. Ski is much more. That's more of his area of expertise. But I didn't think, the next day that happened. Where what's the spring moment? That's the moment of peak fear. That's the moment where the bears are running victory laps on X, and the Moon Boys from last week are capitulating and saying it's over, and Ethereum goes under $4,000. Now, all right. I am not. I am probably a little bit more agnostic on this than Devin is. Okay, I'm assuming Devin is still of the same mindset because Devin doesn't listen to the Moon Boys who capitulate, and sometimes I do. I try not to. It's an interesting level of support that I'm seeing Ethereum bounce off of here, which is just a back test of this 4-year trend line. And this was a huge level of resistance. I mean, you can see in late 2024, we did not break through. We tried to break through that trend line to the upside. In July of 2025, we tried breaking through. We got rejected, bounced off the 618 retrace, and then made a breakthrough, but never had a back test of that trend line. And here we are now. We have a back test. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that everyone who's capitulated is wrong and your boy Ski is right? All I'm saying right now is I made a video. I got some hate for it. I made a video. I said it's a terrible idea to sell right now. That's where I'm gonna leave with that. It's a terrible idea to sell Ethereum right now. And I mean, really, altcoins in general. And we'll see, I mean, I'm a big believer in Q4, and I'm sure lots of people are. I'm not a big believer that it's going to melt our faces and make all of our wildest dreams come true, but I am a believer. Bitcoin. So, I've never done a 5-hour chart. That's kind of Devin's thing, but we put in a lower low yesterday. I'm on the 4-hour chart, and what do we see here on the 4-hour chart? We see a bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart. And there's been lots of bullish divergences actually on 4-hour charts. Now, one other thing that I'll say before I hand it off to Devin is an interesting thing that we've always, every September, we've had some kind of interaction with a 20-week SMA, the red line on my chart here. And every post halving year, what we do is we've come down and bounced off the 20-week SMA. We've done that a couple times, including the last couple days here, but then we did lose that as support, and now we're hanging around the 21-week EMA, which makes up the bull market support band. There were times that in 2021 that we had a daily close below the 20-week SMA, and that was kind of like the key moving average that I was paying attention to in September. So it's interesting to see what's going to come from here. I made a video earlier this week saying don't be bearish at support, and I would say a lot of cryptos, to be completely transparent, a lot of cryptos have lost their support. I would not say that Bitcoin and Ethereum have lost levels of support that I'd be nervous about. and probably XRP as well. Let me take a look at XRP real quick. Yeah, same deal with XRP. Not yet. So a lot of other cryptos have. Make of that what you will. I will. I'll hand it over to Devin and rest my case.
All right. So last time, remember, I think it was what was it, April, when you were like, I've never seen ski so locked in before.
Yep. April.
All right. It is time.
Wait,
to
let me say something
in.
about that. All right. I just saw a post on X, and you can confirm this, I'm sure, but like daily RSI is the lowest it's been since April 4th, whatever. But another random point to throw in there, or April 7th.
April 7th. That's right. So,
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start. We're gonna keep things the most North Star that we can, okay? And then I'm gonna start from what I believe to be the most important factors right now, and then we're gonna work our way down. Okay. So number one, the most important factor to me is right here. The Russell 2000 is fighting with 2024 all-time highs, and it's also fighting with 2021 all-time highs. Now, two things, in my opinion, are going to happen here. Two things are going to happen. We have one of two scenarios. Once you get to the all-time high, that is the highest level of resistance. Okay. Once you break above that, there's only two things that can happen. You can either go break above or you can get rejected. In my opinion, the Russell 2000 is going to be an indication of what Bitcoin is going to do, what Ethereum is going to do, and then those are going to be the North Star for the rest of the market. So you mentioned Bitcoin, Ethereum has not lost its support. That's all we need to hold support, because everything else can turn on a dime very, very quickly. So looking at the Russell, if this is how I feel about it, if we were right here at all-time highs and the Moon Boys were coming out of the woodworks, sounding the alarm, I would be very, very nervous. That is not the case, though. That is not the case. People are very skittish. People are very scared. The fear and greed is 28. RSI, the most oversold since April 7th. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But, so here's my scenarios. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen, and I'm going to tell you what can happen. So either A, the Russell is going to get rejected, and the line in the sand to me is 2,372. If we get to there, that is a confirmed rejection. Okay. Or B, we're going to break above, and the confirmed is 2,509. That would be a confirmation of a breakout, in my opinion. If we get rejected, I think we have more consolidation at hand. If we break above, I think everything else is going to break above. I think that Bitcoin's going to go into price discovery, Ethereum's going to go into price discovery, Solana's going to go into price discovery, and everything under the sun. Just sentiment and vibes, though, I am leaning way more towards it breaking above. Okay, so that's going to be the most North Star thing that I'm going to talk about. Number two, and we've talked about this a lot ad nauseum. Okay, at nauseum. Let me replace this real quick. Share screen, window, boom. Here we go.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh, there we go. Never mind.
Wake me up when September ends.
Bitcoin's green this month, by the way.
Right. It's been green the last 2 months, but until this is 10 years of data. Until this is not reliable, I am going to continue to rely on this. Even last November, and we're going to talk about this too, even last November, from September into November, I want you guys to remember last year in September. That was the worst. That was more grueling, more painful than even the bear market, in my opinion, because we were fighting with those crazy support levels. So let's go back to Bitcoin. I got to replace this. Boom. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin now, and let's talk about what happened from last September into here we go, into November. I want to show it to you. because that chart does not have that data. So here it is. So here is September 1st, 2024 into October or November 31st, 2024. Okay. This is the green line is November, and then the red line is October. All right. So what do we have in August? This is an important note. We had a big wick liquidation. We came up, bounced to the retrace. In this particular case, we went to the 702 Fibonacci retrace. And then in September, the September low was a higher low. Okay. And I want you guys, listen, I know it's easy to just look at this, but let's take a time machine and think about how miserable this time was in 2024. Alex, you remember, because, and the reason is we were fighting to get above the all-time high, and people had so much hope only to have it pulled, only to have the rug pulled, get to the top of the range only to have the rug pulled, and just grueling in 2024 when we were fighting with the all-time high with Bitcoin. That was the most miserable time sentiment wise, even worse than the bear market lows, because people had so much hope that we were going to get above, and then we would get rejected 20-30%, and they say, man, I feel ashamed for getting my hopes up. I feel ashamed for getting my hopes up. I would argue Ethereum, Solana, XRP are all at the same psychological levels. Okay. Now, so what happened? Let's fast forward. You had a dead cat bounce, retrace. You came back, put in a higher low. And then in October, you had it was a 25% move to the upside, which the average is 29%. So let's pull October here to the end of October right here. 24% to the upside. The average is 29. And then November actually outperformed the average. We were up more than that. So what do we have right now? Same thing, perhaps. If this can hold as a higher low, this is a dead cat bounce to the 618 retracement, higher low, September low. If this can hold, I think that we are in store for the same thing, especially factoring in Ethereum and Solana. Okay. So now, am I going to say that Bitcoin's going to do 40% in November? I don't know, but that's what it's done for the last 10 years. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy, or is there something to it? I don't know, but that's what it's done for the last 10 years. And I'm going to honor it until it breaks. Okay. Now, this is a very important thing too. We're on Bitcoin chart. We talked about the fear and greed. We talked about being oversold. Right now, we have a divergence forming on the 5-hour chart. This is a bigger time frame. So price is falling. RSI is going up. This is a divergence. And not only that, we are the most oversold that we have been since the April 7th lows. Okay. Now, oversold on RSI does not equal a bottom. However, oversold on RSI is a prerequisite to a bottom. When you factor in greed and fear, when you factor in, a divergence playing itself out, we have the sugar, spice, and everything nice. Now, I'm not willing to put my beard stamp of approval on it just yet, but I will say I went back all the way to 2022, and I looked at every time that the RSI got extremely oversold. Whoopsies. I looked at every time that the RSI got extremely oversold. Here's what I found. 90% of the time, the bottom was in and we went higher.
90%.
90% of the time.
That's crazy.
There is a couple instances where we did go lower. Like here's an example of one where we went lower. So we went 1% lower here. But every single time, the worst that I was able to find, the worst possible outcome when you're oversold to this degree was 8% rally in Bitcoin, followed by the 10-day low. Most of the time, there was 2 times where it was the 10-day low and you had an 8% rally, but every time it was 8% to 30% rally after that. And most of the time it was at minimum the 28-day low. But there was 2 instances where we would go on to go lower. This one was a really good example right here. The the war in Israel, we were like, this is the most oversold we ever got, really. And then we went on to go 3% lower, but not before, again, a big rally here. And then the April tariffs is the same thing. But I'm expecting somewhere between an 8 to 30% rally minimum and the 10-day low to be in minimum. If we get some sort of big scary news event today, tomorrow, the bottom is in. If we make it through the weekend, the minimum 10-day low is in, and expect an 8% rally, up to 30%. And I think if we make it through the weekend without putting in another low, I think that the 28-day is in all likely probably in. We are extremely oversold. There's extreme pessimism in the market. Even the Moon Boys, as you mentioned, have flipped bearish. That is music to my ears. The sweet sound of capitulation is music to my ears.
You are the master bottom feeler, man. So in Ski, we trust in that regard. I will argue with you on one point, and it's a very little point. It's kind of irrelevant. I think what's happening now in comparison to September 2024 is different in the regards of, like, at least in 2024, everyone was saying that 2025 was going to make all of our wildest dreams come true. But like in 2025, we see this happening, which, just like last September, a lot of people are like, oh no, but 2026 is supposed to be the bear market. And so there's this like this increasing tension of like, it must happen now, or we're waiting until 2028, which I wholeheartedly reject that mindset.
It makes, honestly, to your point, it makes me more bullish that everything that we've been talking about, of like all the others doing their thing, it makes me more bullish that that's actually what's at play here.
Yeah.
Because of the overall pessimism in the market right now.
Yeah. And listen, I'm more on the economic side, and Devin, you're not as much. There's a few things that I just want to point out from things I'm paying attention to. Number one, the Nikkei, the Japanese stock exchange, has broken a 36-year high and is now in price discovery. What's significant about that for those listening? Every fear that I have about the United States stock market, given where the bond market is and all that, it's like that Japan is the United States stock market on steroids. And it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that the Japanese stock market would be exploding right now. Like, in my opinion, based off of everything that I've looked at in terms of like the Japanese bond market, like that's the dumbest trade you can make. And yet here we go. It's shooting off like crazy. How much more so should the United States, just every asset in the United States, be primed to go higher? The other thing that I would say is, like, all those M2 charts that people shared, the correlation with Bitcoin and M2. They called in May, that was really popular. They called for Bitcoin, if we correlate perfectly with M2, to get to $130,000 in June, 145 in July, 175 in August. I thought that was total nonsense. But if you look at where M2 is going right now, it's going vertical. And so what I've seen with different charts is like gold follows M2 much more 1-to-1. But like when after gold goes vertical, after that, it chops for a bit, and then Bitcoin catches up. And so gold is going vertical now. I think that's going to be done soon, and there's going to be a rotation to Bitcoin. So I am, like I said, I'm a little bit more agnostic than you are, Devin, but like looking at the big picture of things and looking at where we are in the charts right now, I think it's premature to be waving white flags.
Yeah, like I'm going to remain bullish until on the daily we flip. That's that. I mean, that's an oversimplification, but when we look at the RSI, it's like we're not even close. Like these are way too spread apart. Everything is still sloping up except for the 20. This is Bitcoin that I'm talking about, the moving averages. Until this 200 gets on top and then everything else is below it, I am going to remain a bull. And I know that we'll probably miss a month of price action by doing it like that. But that to me is the stamp in the coffin of like we're in a bear market. And as it stands right now, we're nowhere close. So
yeah.
The other thing that I'm looking at that, a lot of pain quote that we're feeling is Bitcoin dominance.
Yeah.
It was on this, like it is in a bear market for one thing. It is straight up in a bear market. But this idea, even if you're in a bear market, you have no green days, or even if you're in a bull market, you have no red days. It's just, having a bounce. And to me, the line in the sand of like, maybe we have broken structure would be getting above 60%. But I don't think that, that's probably just mostly the pain that we're feeling. And the same thing, like on the 5 hour, like, guess what? Super overbought at this point. So the most since the last local top, and the only time was the UTAD above that. So it's getting close to, it had a nice little rally. You're not just going to fall in a straight line. I think that's why we're feeling way more pain in the altcoins right now, is because Bitcoin dominance had a bit of a dead cat bounce, if you will.
Yeah. I want to respond to a comment here. I can't agree that 2026 will be bullish. After every 4-year cycle, there's a fat drop. All right. That's like crypto 101 kind of thing here. And I have no hate, SDS, nothing but love for you. Couple things that I would say to that is, well, first of all, I'm not saying that 2026 is absolutely 100% going to be bullish. What I am saying is that we need to break 3 of that 4-year cycle mindset, and looking at liquidity, looking at the business cycle. This time has been different in many regards, which would explain why altcoins have been so terrible. A lot of altcoins have done so terribly throughout 2025, which was supposed to be the year that you were going to make those life-changing gains. So why would we in 2026 have this big fat drop? I mean, we need to expand our horizons a little bit more than being locked into this 4-year cycle mind virus.
Yeah, I think we're gonna break it eventually. I've gave you my theories on that. It's like, it's something. It is a piece to the bigger puzzle, but I don't think it's the entire puzzle. And the one that I hold more weight to, obviously, is the 7-year cycle, because there's 100 years of data of that, and not just 10 years of data. So, and I've said, I think there's a good chance that Trump set us back 6 months. So we'll see how it plays out. I think there's a realistic possibility, though, that we just kind of march our way into 2028, September of 2028. So we'll see what happens. We may not go into, we've talked about this, like, what's the bigger risk here? It's like, we're criminally underexposed.
I every time I talk about the 4-year cycle, I get a lot of pushback. Mike Tran 986 on TikTok. There's a part of me that I hope a part of me, okay, not all of me, that I hope we're just kind of like, flat for the rest of the year, and then what, and then all this 4-year cycle, faithful people will at least be able to break free. But whatever. Obviously, I'd rather just pump now.
Yeah. All right, so those are my thoughts on the market. Let's read some of the comments here. There was somebody who was just like insulting me and not bringing anything positive or any questions, inquiring about questions, disagreeing is one thing, but just
Today's the day.
it's a good sign, guys.
Yeah.
When you see people, like, imagine, I want you guys to imagine with me for a second, okay? Imagine you wake up and instead of being like, it's like thoughts and prayers for blah blah blah, sending good energy from blah blah blah. Imagine you wake up and instead of sending love from Tennessee, it's sending hate from Canada.
Yeah.
Like, imagine spending your valuable resources, which is your time, your energy, and then going on another man's and just bringing nothing productive. Could not be me. Anyways, let's read some of these comments here. I have a feeling the dip is over. I share your feeling. You see a world right now where Bitcoin price goes up while Bitcoin dominance goes up? Not really. I think that the Bitcoin dominance to me is getting pretty oversold at this point.
So, I mean, sure, it can put in a lower high, but yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think Bitcoin dominance has pretty much had its day. It's just like a dead cat bounce, so to speak. September is always the worst, and everyone knows it. Blows my mind. People are so surprised. The market dumped.
Not only that, but this is actually one of the better Septembers, believe it or not, man. Right. It's like, I hate September, except for the NFL starting. I hate September.
Yeah. The crazy part too, this is the part that's like mind-blowing to me, is there is no war. There is no FTX went to zero. There is no Silicon Valley Bank went to zero. There is no this Bitcoin got banned in China for the 37th time. None of that's happening. It's just pure market manipulation brought to you by Binance. So yeah, brought to you by Binance. There is literally it's Apex Predator at work at the fullest degree, and I think people are really uncomfortable with that, of like, it's just Apex Predators doing their thing, but it's like, I don't know, grow up. That's how I feel about it. So yeah, I'm with you. Beard bet. Bet the beard. I will, once I have strong enough convictions where I know that my beard is safe, I will bet my beard again. Any thoughts on H-bar targets? 66 cents, 88 cents, $1.11. What say you?
42 cents was my target. I know that's low, but it almost got there in November of last year.
But ski. I need to make like a coffee mug or something like that, or a t-shirt. But ski. Now they're calling for 98 to 103. Listen, anything is possible. I'm going to tell you right now, 98, there are different things at play. I don't see a world where we get into the 90s and it's just like, okay, dip's over. Off to Lambo land. What color Lamborghini are you going to get? So to me, it's just, we're at a critical influx of, we're going to find support here or we're not, but we're not going to have our cake and eat it.
98K is the 50-week moving average, which is like the absolute bottom where Bitcoin would bounce off of. I'm not saying, I don't think it's going to 98K, but all right. August 5th, 2024, very scary, very, very scary moment. Bounce off the 50-week simple moving average. April 7th, 2025. Guess what? Bounced off the 50-week moving average.
But I'm seeing hate from Wisconsin, bro.
Yeah, I saw that. I laughed at that. How
Uh,
about all right, so one of the few that I pay attention to, a comment from Tim Putt here. The backer got me a little bit afraid and wanting to sell. You have kept me in the game with your chart explaining. Blockchain backer, he sold a third of his portfolio and he does believe it's going higher. If he didn't believe it was going higher, he would have sold all of his portfolio. So it's okay. All the crypto in his portfolio was long-term hold. Like it had the long-term tax implications triggered on September 19th.
yeah, it had more to
So
do with tax. Yeah, blockchain backer is still bullish. People see stuff like that,
yeah,
and it's like headlines. It's like, oh my god, he's bearish. We're cooked. But in
yeah.
reality, it was just risk management. The same thing that any institution would do. He was up, 3, 4, 5x on a lot of his positions, long-term capital gains. It's the wise thing to do.
Hey, I'll confess something to you guys. I sold a large chunk of my XRP, but it was on accident. I set I just did it really quickly. I just didn't think about it. I set a limit order to sell a at a much lower price than where it is right now, just in case, just to hedge whatever. And I accidentally set it for like, when it gets up to this price, you sell, which means it was just a market sell instead of. So, oops.
Are you guys buying silver, gold stocks, Bitcoin bear market?
Silver, gold stock. So I've talked a lot about about silver and gold miners. That's the alt season that I am most excited about in some regards. For me, like I loaded up a ton on silver and gold miners in early 2025 with this mindset that over the next 5 to 10 years there would be some 20x's or even 50x's in those. So I've been preaching that for a while. Now buying in the bear market, sure. This is that's an easy hodl for me because like it's a lot more comfortable to just hold on to that stuff and wait for the market to do its thing. That's a no brainer to me. Bitcoin in the bear market is also a no brainer for sure.
Yeah, Bitcoin will be my heaviest position. People get too cute
Yeah,
and load up way too heavy on altcoins, and it's like it's the meme with SpongeBob of how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? That's what it is to me, because Bitcoin is going to come down the least and it will go up first, and we don't need to be cute about that. As
yeah.
far as silver and gold, I view silver and gold the same as crypto, of the not your keys, not your crypto. Nacho cheese, natural nachos. If you do not physically possess the gold or the silver, in my opinion, it does not belong to you. So that is how I accumulate my gold and silver. It is physical, and I enjoy it. I enjoy just
Yeah.
I enjoy that feeling of just I've bought real estate, I've bought stocks, I've bought crypto. The most fun to me definitely is silver and gold.
So there's a play with silver and gold that just I think it's worth keeping in the back of your mind. And that's look at what happened after the great financial crisis. Gold went down, silver went down like everything else. But then as soon as we bottomed out in the stock markets, gold and silver went nuts. And so silver right now, I'd be very hesitant about buying silver right at this moment because we're talking about a 45-year cup and handle that it's getting up to $50. There's absolutely going to be resistance at $50. That's not going to be an easy wall to break. So
Yeah. The highest level of resistance is the all-time high.
yeah.
That's the biggest resistance.
And it may be that around that time, that's when gold peaks and that's when we see a rotation of Bitcoin, and silver could get to $50 within days, honestly.
Yeah,
So,
and I think a lot of like this too is gold is kind of stealing the thunder,
yeah. Just like earlier this year, gold peaked earlier this year. I think it was April, like right around April 7th.
Let's see. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Ski. Where is my gold? Where's my snare?
April 22nd.
There you go. So I mean,
2 weeks later.
Yeah. Mario says, "What's cooking for Solnick?" I cannot say why. I cannot say when. You will just see it on the charts. But I can assure you, there are big things behind the scenes that are going on. In addition to everything else that's we already have on the roadmap. Continuing, but the things that are public will be continuing the filming of the documentary in early spring. Continuing developing for the dApps, for the liquidity mining, staking. The staking protocol is already live. So we're going to continue to develop the dApps. Apparently, too, on-chain is finally. I don't know if it's live yet, but I think October is the latest that Solana is going to be live. So you'll be able to buy Hihi and Solnick on with a Google map in October.
Is that actually going to happen?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Man.
I have not been happy with that, but
yeah,
it'll eventually happen.
Yeah, it eventually, yes.
But yeah, big things are happening behind the scenes that I cannot talk about, and I will be playing my cards close to my chest, and I will just say you'll just see it on the chart.
I got some hate to read to you, Ski. It says, never trust a man bun guy.
Yeah, my man got blocked on mine and then went to yours.
All right, you know what? See you later, dipping and sipping.
Yeah, my man is sending hate from Wisconsin. That's all right, bro. Like, don't trust me. I don't want you to trust me.
Yeah,
I'm not anybody's savior.
I mean, you are, but you know, when it comes to feeling bottoms, you're the savior.
I'm not, like I had a Pentecostal pastor once say, he said, if you look at me, the answer, then you can go to hell. And, what he was saying is like, if you look at me as the example, I'm not going to get you there. And that's how I feel. So listen, don't trust me. I'm trying to teach people how to fish, not fish for anybody.
Oh, snap.
That's my goal. You good?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you said, "Oh snap."
Oh, I was responding to what you said.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Bear market. What's your price prediction for Bitcoin in the bear market?
Oh man, you don't want to ask me that. I'm all over the
place. 12.
So, yeah, I mean, I always wonder about what a true recession would bring for Bitcoin. Yeah. So there's that, and it's probably a lot lower than it's actually going to go. But let's say this 4-year halving cycle dream dies a terrible death in the fourth quarter. There's this scenario because I think Bitcoin's peak for this cycle is going to be in 2027. Let's say Bitcoin goes up to $155,000 in 2025, or let's say 124 was the peak. I think 2027 Bitcoin's price is actually going to be way higher than where it is right now. So what if this scenario plays itself out where the 4-year halving cycle people, all right, we get to the end of 2025, they sell everything, and they have this mindset, all right, I'm going to buy back in at the end of 2026 at $50,000 to $60,000, because I know that's where a lot of people are saying 50 to 60,000, but it doesn't get anywhere near there that low, and then they're just left on the sidelines. And then we just shoot off like crazy.
Listen, I'm gonna make a crazy profound statement. People will have money on the sideline waiting for the day that never comes. They will tell you that we're going, whatever they tell you we're going to, we're not. Whether it's upside or downside. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that was it. And I'm not hoping for, like, listen, if it's between making gains now or making gains later, I'll choose making gains now any day. But like, I'm so tired of groupthink
Yeah.
when it comes to crypto. It's like the reason why this cycle has worked for me, the reason why I've made money this cycle is because I broke out of groupthink in 2022 and I never looked back.
Yeah, that, I mean, for me too, that I think that that's my biggest strength too, is when I say I don't watch other people, like I really don't watch other people. And, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, my opinions on the market, they are mine. They're coming from me. And, you know, and I'm willing to live and die by that sword. It served me really well. And that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Keep on keeping on.
So my targets, though, let's assume that we go, let's say 200K. My targets, my 4 targets are 118, 100, 70, 50. I think no matter where we go, I think that the highest probability is 70 and 100.
In the bear market.
In the bear market.
Okay.
Not now. Not now.
Sorry, I'm feeling this music.
Yeah, a nice little touch that we added. It's called chill.
Yeah.
The bottom feeler. Yeah, that's a channel joke.
Yeah.
I've called 8 of the last 9 bottoms. So Alex coined me as the master bottom feeler.
I don't know what's going on with. All right.
Is your screen turned off when Alex talks? It's just like unless we're showing something, I mean, I can easily just flip it back like this, but unless we're showing something, I don't think that there's a reason to show it.
Yeah. Ask the bottom feeler if this is the bottom now. He's speaking in terms of probability that let me not put words into your mouth, Ski, but like this looks like a good place for a bottom.
Yeah, okay, so I have not put my beard stamp of approval, meaning
there we go.
Meaning like I will shave my beard if we go lower. I'm not there yet, but all the ingredients are there for a bottom. And I want to see is today's close. Today's close is a big, massive close because it's the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and the quarterly.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're out of the woods necessarily. I think relatively the bottom is forming. We might wick lower. But if we can get through today and not go lower, I think that the highest probability is the 28-day low is in. And we're going to get some sort of rally 8 to 30%. That is what the history of Bitcoin says. If we get some scary news event today, then the bottom is absolutely in. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Can we make it through today? If we make it through today, we're not out of the woods, but I can see the house. If we get a scary news event today, I will put my beard on it. If something comes out and Russia hates Bitcoin or Russia selling, I don't know, whatever scary. There's some war. Some bank went to zero, some exchange. I don't know what would happen, but that would be when I would be like, okay, that's it. But I am very bullish for October. I'm very bullish for November. Relatively, I think that we have bottomed. I'm just not willing to put my beard stamp on it yet.
There we go. Is this the monthly close? The monthly close is September 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
So it's a big one.
Yeah, still got Monday and Tuesday. Wake me up when September ends, you know? It's like, man.
Most likely October will happen. I think November's when Euphoria gets here, but I think the October's going to be solid.
Just remember last October, I remind people of this. What happened? So the first, I called for October last October. And so I remember this very well. The first like 10 days of October kind of sucked.
They definitely sucked.
And then October 11th is when it broke out. So not October 1st necessarily.
Right. That's an important distinction to make too, because so October, November are historically the highest performing months. Back to back, especially. April is technically the second highest performing. October is technically the third. But when you factor in their back to back, it makes it like the biggest performing period. And last year in October, like to Alex's point, it was kind of crappy in the beginning, and then it was nothing but disbelief. This
Yeah.
entire rally, no one believed it
Until the election.
until we were. Yeah, that's right. That was when people started believing it, but no one believed. I mean, I think it was like 70% from October before anyone believed it. And I kept being like, "Ye of little faith," and then it was over before it ever started.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's probably what's going to happen, where it's going to be like kind of maybe grueling in the beginning, and then by the end of it, it'll just be complete disbelief until we're in proper price discovery for Ethereum, Solana, and then when we're in proper price discovery near the end, that's when retail will wake up and believe it.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I mean, I remember October 1st of 2021. It was like, boom. Welcome to October. Like it just immediately just popped off. So
There's a chance it could happen, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're clamoring to the 4-year,
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's how it would play out. But yeah, I like I said, if you compare the last September into October, we had a dead cat bounce with a higher low. This was
Yeah.
the pinnacle of despair right
I
here.
remember that.
Even though we didn't go lower, which I thought was weird, that people were so like just stressed out. And so you know, it kind of has the same kind of feeling, like we were lower over here, but people
Yeah.
are more stressed now than they were right here.
Yeah.
That's
That's
my
100%.
that's my perspective.
I mean, now Ethereum, to be fair, is lower than it was earlier this month, but still, it's like,
Bitcoin is still the sun, and it will be the
Yeah.
sun. The hunter's full moon.
I don't know what that means, but
Stress is an understatement. They're panicking. Capitulation is what it really is.
yeah. I mean, I've given my thoughts on that before. It's just like, I always want to be somewhere between 10 and 20% nervous.
Right.
I don't want to be 0%. I don't, because that's just being blind. But I don't want to be more than 20% ever under any circumstance.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
Price prediction on XLM. I'm 0.02% nervous. They got people in there feeling like the sky is falling. I know, like literally. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit too grounded, where it's just like, I don't know, bro. We were just at 2100 93 days ago for Ethereum. Like, did we pull back? Like, sure. But we were just at 2100. Even with the pullback, we have outperformed the stock market by, I don't know, 8 years.
Why is nobody asking about coins? That's a good question. I mean, some people are. And I think it's more just the feeling, the despair, the whatever you want to call it. It's like,
What percentage do you allocate to your crypto as opposed to equities? Most of my net worth is in real estate and crypto. I have equities and I also have precious metals, but most of my portfolio is crypto. And I don't recommend necessarily that people do that. I think maybe the average Joe is 10 to
Yeah.
20%. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm a big believer in investing in what you know, and that's what I know.
I'd say, I'd guess like 55% is in stocks for me. Stocks and ETFs.
Yeah, I just have less belief in the stock market too. I don't know. That's personal. It's I know it's safer, but I don't know. I don't know. I just go with
Okay.
what I know.
All right.
I have some boring dividends, but
Yeah.
it's not nearly as much as crypto or real estate.
I mean, I'm on a long-term timeline to build up to getting a monthly income in dividends alone. Monthly income that would support my family, and then we'll see where we go from there. So
The dividends are awesome.
yeah.
I love me some dividends. We buying the dip. No, yeah, yeah. I think so. Like I smoke them if you got them, as they say in the army.
Yeah, I bought like $2,000 worth of Ethereum yesterday. At like I saw it under $4,000. I was like, yeah, I can go lower, but makes sense to me to at least buy for a scalp.
Yeah.
You know,
It's difficult to TA charts in the short term with the magnitude of manipulation. I agree, but that's why I like Wyckoff in the first place.
yeah,
Wyckoff understands that the market is manipulated. It understands the game is rigged. And that's the lens that it's viewing the market through. Just like I have a filter I have a color correction filter on my camera. Like it's a different lens. It's the same picture, but it's just a different lens of viewing it. That's why I like Wyckoff. And I think TA, this is why I'm so I guess I am kind of carrying the flag, even though I do TA, even though the master bottom feeler, whatever. I am a big advocate for regular people just DCA because I understand that TA is a dangerous thing where it's kind of like being a mechanic in that there's a low barrier of entry to where you can work on stuff and you can like use it and like understand different tools. And then there's a giant barrier between knowing how to use a tool versus effectively navigating it. So it's like if I start messing with electrical stuff as a mechanic, I know enough to get myself in trouble. And it's like I'm screwed now. And I think that a lot of people kind of fall into this trap of TA. It's like it's very easy. It's kind of like learning like Greek or something, like very easy in the beginning. And the more you learn about it, the more difficult you realize that it is, and the more that you realize that you don't know. And I think a lot of people sort of overestimate their ability to navigate the market through TA. And that, I'm a big advocate that regular people just find their fundamental projects in DCA because it's easier and it's more effective for most people.
you got a super chat from the web.
The web. Thank you for the super chat. I don't even see it.
It's like 7 comments, 8 comments down, I think. I can read it.
Yeah, please read it.
All right. Ski, do you think this cycle is different? I don't see it. I think bear in 2026. Your thoughts?
That's still my base case until that is broken. Listen, I'm not married to time, and I'm a huge hold on, TikTok is making sure that I'm a human. I'm a huge believer in not making decisions based off of time. Like I'm not gonna be like, well, it's November, time to sell. That is still my base case. I think that we have the setup, especially in the altcoins and the others. If the Russell breaks out here, like how quickly, I want you guys you heard it here first. If Tuesday the Russell breaks out, how quickly this sentiment that we're feeling right now will flip on its head. Because there is nothing like price to change sentiment. Nothing. People want a rhyme and a reason. The reason is price action, manipulation. Crypto is cooked. Yes. A5 Wagyu, medium rare. I agree.
What stocks are good dividend stocks? So I have a lot of ETFs that are high yield dividend ETFs. My favorite is QQQI, which is NASDAQ related, but pays out 15% annual dividends. And the big thing for me is just like, can the price stay the same and I'll get my 15% yield? And so far it's actually gone up a little bit.
Someone said, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm done.
GW says, start horse gambling, more consistent than Bitcoin. If you didn't know, over the last 15 years has been the highest performing asset by a mile. So no, it is not more consistent. If you don't understand, then maybe read the Bitcoin Standard. Try learning about it so you can be more consistent. Ethereum with this pullback is up more than 7 years of stock market gains with the pullback. Are you guys US based? I am.
Yes.
Should I buy more Solnic? Do what your rank can handle. That is my highest conviction. Can you buy dividends on Kraken? So I do think that Soulflare recently allows you to buy stocks.
That's right. Yeah. Some, not a bunch.
I don't know what's on there.
Yeah. I think it's like Magnificent Seven kind of things like that. So
technically Apple gives you dividends.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think I got to run here in a bit.
Yeah. I'm looking on Soulflare. There's like 12 different stocks. It's all Magnificent Seven and NASDAQ, Coinbase.
What do we got? Read the list here. I'm going to tell you my favorite.
Right. Tesla, S&P 500, MicroStrategy, NVIDIA, Circle, Alphabet, Apple, Meta, NASDAQ, Robinhood, Coinbase, Amazon, DFDV. I don't know what that is. And gold.
Okay, so Apple, Microsoft, those are dividends.
Yeah.
The S&P technically is dividends as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. I think that is the obvious next step, is to tokenize the stock market.
Yeah.
To me, that's the most obvious thing. That is a giant, just consolidating it all into one thing. Bitcoin might hit. You can buy stocks on Kraken. Okay, there you go. That's cool. So Robinhood as well. Like Robinhood's a place where you can buy both.
All right. Well, hard stop. Hard
stop.
11.
All right, guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We will never, ever message you first. If you're watching on TikTok, for the love of God, don't go to other platforms like YouTube and X, and don't follow us there. Whatever you do, do not leave this platform.
Do not follow World War Bitcoin or your boy Ski on YouTube. Do not do that.
Don't do it. Don't support us there. Stay on this platform forever. Never leave. Even if they tell you to stop scrolling, stay. Okay? Collect as much ad revenue for TikTok as possible. All right. I'll never message you. If somebody messages you, that is somebody from Pakistan, Kakistan, Turkestan, Afghanistan. It is not a ski stand. I love you, but I have 437 missed text messages. I have 900 missed calls. I'm not getting back to my own people unless they're pinned to the top. All right. So good luck with your trading, but I'm not going to ask you how it's going. All right.
All right.
Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless. I'm out.